Let's bow in. Class is now in session. We're going to go over how to be in someone's close guard, how to survive, how to pass, and good jiu-jitsu etiquette. Let's get started. It's very important we don't keep our arms on our partner's chest. This leaves us vulnerable to attack because we have our elbows extended from our body and we don't have grips on our partner. If we do start to get armbarred, it's very important that we hip track. We control the hips and we follow the hips as they try to rotate. The inability to get the angle for the armbar will make it impossible for Nikki to get her leg over my head, resulting in no armbar. If it's too late and I feel like I'm going to get armbarred, I'm going to go to this rear naked choke style defense where I put my arms just like as if I were to try to rear naked choke someone. This makes it very hard for our partner to extend our arm and makes it so we can stack our partner and pull our arm out. We also don't want to keep our hands on the mat. For the same principles as before, we're not controlling our partner and we're leaving our limbs vulnerable to attack through kimuras or sweeps like hip bump sweeps. Reaching back isn't going to be a good idea either. It's going to leave you vulnerable to triangles. This is something you definitely want to avoid. Nikki needs one arm in and one arm out for a triangle, and by reaching back, I'm effectively giving her that. Understanding this concept of needing one arm in and one arm out is going to make it a lot easier to escape triangles. Look how when Nikki goes for the triangle, I bring my other arm in to negate the triangle. This time I bring both arms out to negate the triangle. This is advantageous because it puts you in a position where you can pass the guard. Like how we do this double under style pass, but really you got to do what's ever available at the time. Alright, really quick guys, for those of you that are new to the channel, my name is Jordan and I'm a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. I make educational Jiu-Jitsu videos with my wife Nikki. We aim to show you how to grapple, not just show you Jiu-Jitsu techniques. That's really what sets us apart, so consider subscribing if you haven't already. Trying to submit someone from their own close guard is a bad idea, and it's the telltale sign of a brand new white belt. You leave yourself vulnerable to getting submitted, to getting your back taken, and it's just not a good idea because it's much smarter to just try to pass the guard instead. One submission that can work is an Ezekiel choke from the inside of the close guard, but it's not necessarily something I would do. I would much rather focus on passing the guard instead. Position before submission. Another submission we can do is a von flue choke, and this is off of our partner going for a guillotine on us. We do this by driving our bicep into one side of our opponent's neck and using our opponent's shoulder against the other side, trapping their arm with a tight gable grip, making it impossible to pull their arm out. An overhook is a great tool for the person on the bottom. If not addressed properly, it can lead to you getting swept or submitted. To break free, you need to pummel your arm out with a limp arm. It's very important to bring your knee off the mat to trap and immobilize your partner's hips, acting as a wedge, something we talk about a lot on the channel. It's also important we cup the other arm with ours to prevent them from being able to use that hand for grips. Speaking of grips, we need to break grips at all times. So important. We can employ the same wedge by bringing our knee up. We pull the grip off with two hands as we posture up, creating force in both directions, setting up the pass. If we're not careful with our grips, our opponent can pull our arm across our body, leading to a back take. To counter this, we need to keep employing the same principle of bringing our knee up. This will keep Nikki's hips down and mine above hers. If she can't climb her hips above mine, then she can't get her hips behind mine, which is needed to secure the back. Here I'm also tracking the hips to keep Nikki's back on the mat. We really need to track the hips when we're postured low. For Nikki to get an angle and get on her side, she needs to shrimp her hips out. As I follow her, it forces Nikki's back onto the mat, eliminating the angle. We need to keep our butt down when postured high. The midway zone where our butt is off our heels is also the sweep zone, where you lack base and can easily be off balanced. Here I tell Nikki to scissor sweep me. What I don't tell her is I'm going to fight hard to keep my butt down. Look how hard it is for her to sweep when I do this. When my butt comes off my heels, look how much easier it is. We need to be all the way up or all the way down. I'm not a fan of the traditional grab double lapels with one hand and pants with the other and sit in close guard. To me, this is just stalling. I'd rather be all the way down or up and fighting for grips. Once I take the grips I need, now's the time to pass. So now we're going to look at this in super slow-mo. This is me and Nikki just drilling. I'm trying to pass her guard and Nikki's just trying not to let me. So first things first, I need to grip fight, and once I have the grips I need, like I do now it's time to go. Now it's time to pass. So I stand up, and the reason why I grab the sleeve is so Nikki can't grab my legs, right? So I engage my hips, pushing down on the knee, not the pants, stepping back and breaking the guard. And once you've broken the guard, you can kind of go to any pass from there, and I opt for a leg drag. The same can be done in Nogi. This time I grab the wrist, step back, and push on the knee, and then I go for a knee slide this time instead of a leg drag. Look what happens when you don't grab the sleeve of the wrist. Nikki has access to both her hands and grab my legs and sweep me. This really emphasizes the importance of grip fighting and getting the grips you need before you do anything. Sometimes when you're passing, your opponent follows you all the way up. This is no big deal though. You put your hands on the hips and push down, and you should be able to break the grip. It's also very important, look how I put my knees together and kind of create a base for Nikki to sit on. This makes it easier for me to support her weight. In this position, you can be vulnerable to a double leg counter, but if you know it's available, then it's easily dealt with. You should have your hands on the hips anyways, and that prevents the double leg counter. Here we are drilling in super slow-mo again. Well, I slowed it down after the fact, but you can see Nikki goes for the double leg counter, and I have my hands by the hips, and I also drop my own level to stop her. The knee in the butt is also a great way to pass the guard, and I say knee in the butt, but really your knee's towards the sky, and it's more like your shin going in the crack. That may sound weird, but Jiu-Jitsu is weird. I have my hands in the biceps, that way I stop her from taking grips and I'm controlling her that way, and now I can switch to the hips and pull down, pulling her past my shin. Let's see it one more time because this one's a really good one. My plan A is always grab the sleeve or wrist and stand up, but this is a great plan B for me, and might be a great plan A for you. The easiest and often forgotten way to pass is just to wait and be ready for when your opponent opens their guard. Posture up immediately, grab the pants and go. This is often the first closed guard pass taught to students. I think it's the least effective. I'm pretty strong and I have a hard time doing this on anyone of any size. There's much better options, like the paulo or tozy pass, two names for the same technique. To perform, we want to get an underhook and walk our hips to the side, contorting our opponent's body and immobilizing their hips. From here, we can work towards breaking their feet grip together with our hands. See how I make Nikki's knee go from up to down and her leg flat on the mat? That's what you want. That makes it very hard for them to move. One more time, look, I get the underhook and I walk my way to the side, push down on the legs, and then go for a knee slide. And then I walk my hips back to prevent the regard. Now let's finish off the etiquette. Really important, don't grind your elbows into people's legs. That might be a way to open the guard, but it's really gonna make people mad, and you don't wanna do that. You wanna make friends. Did you think I was actually gonna slam her? Make sure you take care of your training partners by not slamming them, and thank you to Nikki for trusting that I wouldn't accidentally slam her. Another one, don't do can openers. That means don't grab people's heads and neck crank them. That's another sure way to not make friends. Alright guys, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. If you did, make sure to leave a comment or fist bump. I worked really hard on this and it took me a long time to do, so I appreciate the love. Thank you.